history, really fractured, didn't learn very much at all from school. He's had a history of mental illness. He's on medication now, for mental illness and so on. And we're hoping through the literacy, in fact we believe through the literacy, he is actually learning to be more confident about himself generally. But the kids at the island don't want to wait until 30 to become aware of that. They don't want to have to go through what he does. Okay, the third thing is this business of chaotic. Professional learning being chaotic. What chaos in this case is on about is unexpectedness. And if anything is thwart with things being unexpected, it's having staff change their practice. If I'm going to teach a group of kids how to solve quadratic equations, there's not much chaotic about that. I mean, I know the pathway I'm going to go down. It's very clear, and over the period I'll probably get there. If I'm going to teach a group of kids to visualise, there's not much that's very chaotic about it. I know that I believe I could cope with any hurdles. But you say to a group of teachers, hey, we're going to improve literacy, or we're going to teach kids to paraphrase. All you need is for one or two guys to say, oh, look, we did that 20 years ago and it didn't work then. Why is it going to work now? Or things like that. It's very easy to derail. Very, very easy to derail. And unless you're ready with your similes, like, well, you can have the same set of pots in 100 homes in 100 kitchens in Melbourne, but not get the same product of food out of it, not quality of food out of it. Unless you're ready, the chaos can really, deflect your activity. So the whole notion of professional learning potentially being chaotic. Things are going to happen. People will throw spanners in the works when you least expect it. It's critical that you be ready and that you have anticipated some of the ways in which people will derail the process, and that you are always ready to, even though things are not going well now, it's possible that that person who's seeing things not going well has over-amplified the not well in comparison with what has been going well. Or it may be that the person is wanting change too fast and is not prepared to wait, or has missed one or two little levers to pull. So in terms of the chaos, one of the best ways of dealing with the chaos is to have anticipated what might be said, or always try to buy yourself time. And the way I would always buy time, and I'm probably giving away a trade secret that you can all use against me, I would always bring it back to student learning again. If someone is, derailing the teaching procedures I'm putting in place, if someone said, look, we did this 10 years ago and it didn't work then, my thing is, well, look, if the students in your class are able to read a text and say it all in their own words at the appropriate grade level, then we don't need to worry about it. But even though it was done 10 years ago and it didn't work then, it may be that the students need it more now, or something that brings it back to the learning. Because if your goal is to improve students' learning, then you're on safe ground. So whenever there are going to be distractors in terms of the chaos, then you need to be able to deal with them. The sort of chaos that's more difficult to deal with is when, we were talking earlier today, I was talking with Alistair, and Alistair was saying, well, the school starts off doing something on literacy and then has to report on something to do with multiculturalism in the school or something like that. And the things that can derail the program can be needing to give your attention to other things. And so really being focused and attempting to prioritise where you're putting your time, and planning, they're all going to deal with the chaos. You're going to be more able to deal with the chaos if you're planned, if you're ready to deal with the potential barriers or the knockers. I mean, we could go around the room and I'm sure every one of us could suggest one or two experiences that we've had where chaos theory has come into play. So chaos theory, we're talking about unexpectedness, and if any activity is going to have chaos, it's going to be professional learning, particularly in schools, guys. I'm sure learning to repair the gearbox on a Ford wouldn't be as laden with chaos as staff learning to paraphrase. No, isn't that right? Okay, so bear in mind the chaos and be ready for it. And this is where, if there are 2 or 3 of you from the same school, be ready to support each other to deal with the chaos. Because the chaos can be destructive, it can deflect where you're going, and I would just try not to go down that pathway. Years ago, when I started to work in teacher training, it could be guaranteed that I would divide a room within 2 minutes. If I was doing a literacy activity, and someone would say, "Oh, do you believe in phonics?" If I said yes, half the group would move away. If I said no, the other half would. When I was to do maths, people would say, "Do you believe in teaching tables by rote?" If I said yes, I've got half the group. If I said no, at least I've got the other half. I have actually seen, I've done PDs where people actually physically got up and moved. Now, these days, I mean, there's no way I'd do that. I would always start off a PD on literacy where I had people practicing being literate, reading through a text. What do you do? Who's going to say that you don't do it when you've actually just done it? If we were doing a numeracy task, I would have started off our activities with 1 or 2 numeracy tasks. What do you do to be numerate? I mean, you'd be a goose to allow the chaos to come in. So look, guys, if you want to avoid the chaos, Lena, the chaos is going to be there. It's part of the job. So if we want to deal with the chaos, number 1, try to plan for it. But number 2, buy 20 seconds and bring it back to student learning. Try to bring it into student learning. Because that's why you're there. That's the whole reason. You're wanting to enhance student learning. And you'll see that the chaos will dissipate. The chaos will dissipate, very quickly after that. Oh, look, just before we also leave the chaos, the other thing that really, and I guess is related to the student learning. I remember talking about an experience I had in a school.